I'm Mark Schofield from Inside the Pylon and the Bleacher Report NFL 1000 project. With the playoffs on tap, we're doing things a little different for the NFL 1000 project here in the postseason. I'm going to take a look at some schemes that you should be on the lookout for during each of the games, starting here on Wild Card Weekend. The weekend slate of games ends with perhaps the marquee matchup on Sunday afternoon, as the New York Giants travel to the Midwest to take on the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers and company finished the season very strong, running the table with 6 straight wins that culminated in a victory over the Detroit Lions in the final game of the year, securing a division title for the Packers. The Giants finished 11-5, 2 games behind the Dallas Cowboys in the tough NFC East, but still good enough for the top wild card slot in the conference. When the Giants have the football, look no further than Odell Beckham Jr. The very talented wide receiver is a focal point of the New York offense, and they love to get the ball in his hands quickly on slant routes. While the Giants often use a slant-flat concept to his side of the field to accomplish this goal, a player of Beckham's ability sometimes can just rely on his pure athleticism to get open. When the Packers have the football, secondaries need to be ready to defend longer into plays than perhaps any other game all year. Rodgers and the Packers excel in the scramble drill, and anytime defenders need to be responsible in coverage for 4 seconds or more, things can break down in the secondary. We'll start by taking a look at the Giants and Beckham on the slant route. We begin with a play from Week 6 of the NFL season against the Baltimore Ravens. For context, this is on a 4th and 1 late in the fourth quarter in a 3-point game with Baltimore clinging to a lead. We have the slant flat drawn up here, the play art. You'll see we get this flat route from the tight end and Beckham on the slant route. Now before we break down the play, just want to talk for a second about this route design because it's good against both man and zone coverage. If you see zone coverage on this play, here we'll have a safety cheated down, but just assume for argument's sake he's going to drop back to here into sort of a cover 2. And then what you would have is you'd have the underneath linebacker here, and then you'd have the cornerback cover in this zone here. So you see how this route design will have sort of a natural window right here, sort of between those zones. So the slant route will be open there, and if for some reason you get this cornerback that cheats a little bit more on the slant, then that flat route comes open. A lot of times quarterbacks are taught when they throw this route concept again and they see zone coverage, your entire read is this guy right here. If he somehow stays on the slant route, you throw the flat. If he does a good job in squats, then you're throwing that slant into that little area right here in that soft area between these two zones. But then if the defense goes into man coverage, like we'll see on this play, what you'll probably see is, this time we can use a safety here. He's going to have man here, and we'll have man coverage here. Then it's really up to what the defense does. If they try to banjo this, if they try to switch this as the slant route comes to the inside, maybe this cornerback stays home, and then this guy will take the slant route while the cornerback stays home and gets the out route. There'll be a window as that switch takes place. If they don't switch it, then you're relying on that slant route to beat the corner here with his speed. That's exactly what's going to happen here. As this play develops, safety comes down to try to cover the flat route. Corner tries to stick on Beckham on the slant, and these two defenders end up running right into each other, and that creates a big play for the Giants. Safety cheats down. They try to disguise it a bit, but that safety will cheat down right at the snap. Slant flat, the collision. Beckham catches it in stride, and now he's just off to the races. Now remember, this was a 4th down play late in the game, in a 3-point game. You convert the 1st down, but you even get more out of it. So, just a good design and a great example of how that slant flat route creates opportunities for the offense and sometimes some mismatches or some mistakes in the secondary. We look at the next example here. This is Week 14 against the Cowboys. It's third quarter, about 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. This is, again, that slant-flat concept. We'll see it again against man coverage. This time the flat route comes from the running back out of the backfield. Linebacker is going to pick him up in man coverage. So what that does is it creates a natural throw-in window right here behind it. As the linebacker vacates to cover the flat route here, Beckham comes in right into that throw-in window, creates a nice, clear throw-in lane for the quarterback. Manning makes a good throw, and again, Beckham, an incredible athlete, takes this one the distance. The linebacker vacates, slant route right behind it, and Beckham basically just erases any angle that free safety had. Here's another look at it. You'll see Lee, the linebacker, vacate. Throw comes right behind it. Free safety barely has a chance. Now, taken one look at it again, we see the great route. Uses that outside leg to drive and pivot off of it. Touchdown. Now, having looked at how the slant flat route concept can get the slant route open, now we can just look at pure athletic ability from Odell Beckham Jr. This is a play against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 9. They run play action here, and it draws in basically the entire defensive front. They all basically, the linebackers, as you see here, they're going to flow down towards play action. And we get straight man coverage in the secondary. We've got a defender across from Beckham here in press man. The play action creates big thrown window here for Manning and Beckham on a slant route. But this play is just a chance to look at how quick Beckham can get into this route and can get up to top speed coming out of the break. One step and go. It's almost impossible to stop that. We get another look at it. Quick step and go. Anytime the Giants have the football in the game against the Packers on Sunday, watch for the slant route to Odell Beckham Jr. The Giants love to run it. They'll run it using slant flat. They'll just use him when he's isolated, run a slant route to one side of the field. It's a great way to get your best receiver the football quickly into a play with him building up speed, cutting over the middle of the field where he can make the defense pay with the ball in his hands after the catch. Now we're going to look at the scramble drill in the Green Bay Packers. It's kind of cheating in a way to say this is sort of a schematic look at what a team does on offense and something you should look for. But when a team relies on it as much as the Packers do, it's worth looking at. And nobody, I think, in the NFL runs it better than Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. In a league where so many teams, for example, the New England Patriots, try to get the ball out of Tom Brady's hands in around 2.5 to 3 seconds or even faster on some plays, there are times when Rodgers will have the ball in his hands 4, 5, 6 seconds into a play. It's almost impossible for a secondary, whether in man or zone coverage, to be responsible, to be disciplined throughout the duration of that kind of play. The final play we're going to break down comes from that Week 17 matchup against the Lions, and former defensive back Matt Bowen tweeted after that play that you can never, ever expect a defense to play defense for that long on a given play, for 7, 8 seconds into a given play. Things will just break down. You will get a breakdown happening. His first play comes all the way back in Week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have the play art drawn in for the play here. And what I've done is in solid lines, that's the initial route that each receiver runs. So we're going to get a curl route here. We get a quick in, a quick out, and then just a vertical route from Devontae Adams on the outside. And then we have the dashed lines, and that's the adjustment that each receiver makes when they see Rodgers start to scramble. You see Nelson converts this to a go route. We get tight end coming into the outside, going to the outside. This receiver works back towards the middle because Rodgers starts to scramble upfield. And Adams bends his vertical route back in to try to get in front of the quarterback's line of sight. In the scramble drill, the adjustments that receivers make, they are based upon the movement of the quarterback and their route structure to begin the play. You'll see guys, if they're short, break deep. If they're outside, they'll come over the middle of the field. What you're trying to do is get into the line of sight for the quarterback to find you down the field. Here, that's exactly what happens. Rodgers has forced to break the pocket towards the line of scrimmage. Adams sees that on the outside, and he adjusts his route towards the middle of the field. See right there? Here's the basic route structure, and you can see guys are covered. Pocket's going to start breaking down in a second. Here, Rodgers starts to scramble. Now, you can see the receivers, they've seen it, and they've started to adjust their routes. Pay particular attention to Adams here on the outside. Notice where he is. Now he starts to bend inside. Rodgers finds him. Touchdown. Here's another look at it from the end zone angle. You won't really see too much of Adams until the end, but drop back, has to climb, makes a throw with a guy draped on him, puts it where only Adams can get it. From snap to release, over 4 seconds, 4.06 seconds from snap to release. Now we're going to look at a play from week 14 against the Seahawks. This time I've only got the route from Adams sort of drawn in. He runs a quick out. He's the only one to really notice Rodgers start to break the pocket, so then he breaks vertically. Sort of the scramble drill rules that I've talked about. Seattle's in a little combination coverage here. They show cover 3 at the snap, and then what they end up doing is they play a little match man on this side of the field, with Sherman coming down on this route, and this cornerback staying with Adams as he breaks to the flat. And then they do a little cover 3 look here where they've got safety in the middle of the field, and then they got the cornerback sort of over the top of Jordy Nelson with a cover 3 look underneath it. So it's a bit of a combination coverage. It doesn't matter, though, when Rodgers can do things like he does on this play. Again, it's another great example of the scramble drill. Flushed here from the pocket. Adams has seen it. He's covered here in the flat route, but he's going to start to get vertical now because he knows that Rodgers is coming to his way, so he's going to get deep. Incredible throw on the run. Touchdown. See, Rodgers wants to go to this side of the field, but he can't. And the pocket starts to break down, so he's flushed to the right. Flick of the wrist. Just an incredible throw. Snap to throw time on that play was 3.39 seconds from snap to release. Now we get the play from Sunday night against the Lions, and if you watch this play live like I did, you probably jumped out of your chair because, again, just an amazing play, not only from Rodgers in the pocket, but Geronimo Allison. This is his initial route, his curl route. Then when he sees Rodgers start to scramble, he comes towards the middle of the field. When Rodgers scrambles and buys some more time, he works back to the back corner of the end zone, again, trying to maintain a relationship with your quarterback, trying to stay in his line of sight. Allison does a great job on this play, as does Rodgers. And this play comes in the fourth quarter. It's a 3rd and 9 on the 10-yard line. 10 minutes left in the game. The Packers have a 3-point lead. This is a pivotal play, not just in this game, but in the entire season for the Green Bay Packers. Initially, Rodgers wants to come to this side of the field. It has a little flat 7 smash concept here with this little flat route here and a corner route or slot fade coming to this side of the field. And he sees it as covered, doesn't like it, and the protection's starting to break down. So he flushes to the left, doesn't like what he sees initially. Again, you've got guys covered here. Here's Allison. Works back over. Rodgers finally finds him for the touchdown. Here's a look at it from the end zone angle. You'll see Rodgers open to the right, wants to throw to that smash concept to that side of the field, comes off of it. See Allison working away from him, then he comes back, gets in his line of sight, perfect throw, catch, touchdown, division title. That play, snap to release, 8.78 seconds. That's an eternity in the life of a football play. So those are some things to look at when the Packers and the Giants, clash on Sunday afternoon. When the Giants have the football, again, that slant-flat concept, try to get Odell Beckham Jr. the ball on the slant route, or sometimes they'll just leave him alone, have him run an isolated slant route and get him in space with a quick throw from Eli Manning and let him do some work after the catch. When the Packers have the football, you better watch the entirety of the play, because the defenders are going to have to be covering their men or staying home in their zones for a long time, given how adept Aaron Rodgers is at running the scramble drill and how his receivers are also adept at finding space for him and staying in his line of sight to make plays down the field when Rodgers breaks the pocket. For Mark Schofield and the rest of everybody, at the Bleacher Report NFL 1000 Project. Thanks for watching these videos. Enjoy the games this weekend, everybody.